Hey Kingdom Hearts fans, my name is Unlike Mike, but if you'd like, you can just call me Mike. Before I begin this video, I just want to give a little bit of a thank you to all the people who just recently started following me that came out of nowhere and treating me with kindness in the comment section. I actually really do appreciate that. And there's a little bit of a channel update I'd like to give out to those people who decide to follow me. I'll put that at the end of the video though. But starting off with this video, I think I may have found a groundbreaking discovery. And actually, this is the second time I'm making this video. I do have this theory posted on my channel already, but the problem is it's kind of dog shit, so here's to take two. Something I feel a little bit passionate about because this is an original theory that I came up with, and I haven't seen or heard anybody talking about this ever. And basically, it's that I believe the mysterious tower is Daybreak Town, or at least a part of Daybreak Town. Right? So what led to this? What led to this thinking? So you guys remember these? You guys remember these, right? When we first played Kingdom Hearts 3, there's these really random posts from the loading screens, and I just feel like these posts kind of offered a bit more to pay attention to. So, like, for an example, we have this post by Riku saying that never thought I'd find my way to these shores again. It's almost like someone wanted me to come here, right? And he's looking down at the gazing eye, and the gazing eye is right in the center for us to see. So to me, that's like speaks, pay attention to these because some of these may end up being important, right? So we even get a little bit of talk about the lore here, a little bit of nonsense. But the one that stuck out the most, right? Why do I think Mysterious Tower comes from Daybreak Town? It's this post by King Mickey. First time I read this post, my spidey senses started going off instantly. And just to read it for you guys real quick, it's the second you're not looking, Master Yen Sid's tower pops up someplace new. Who'd have thought he had such a playful side? And no, I do not believe Yen Sid is getting into shenanigans, pulling pranks on us or anything like that. Like I said, it stood out as just like what a weird, I don't know, what a weird canon thing to like put into the game. So I started doing some digging around with old Yen Sid scenes and the Mysterious Tower, and I came across Goofy being my first clue into looking into this place a bit more. And he's saying when he does his Avenger rules, number 8, search every corner of a new place, followed with, this is a strange tower, I wonder why it was built. Right? And I could be I very well believe I could be overthinking this and looking too deep, but well, we'll get there. But why does Goofy say this is a strange tower and not, like, he doesn't give it possession, right? So why doesn't he mention that this is Yen Sid's place instead? He doesn't say Yen Sid built it. It's just a mystery why it was built, right? So something this alarmed me that something is weird about this building. So I took a look around. When we first see Mysterious Tower for the first time, once we arrive by train, first thing I noticed and I just never noticed this ever, any of my playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts, what's with these green mountains, right, in the background? And then we have like all this ruin or like dirt in the air surrounding it, right? And here's better pictures from Kingdom Hearts 3, even in our first trailers, right? Follow me? We have these, again, all this ruin, and then these foresty mountains. All right, and there's something odd about these mountains, right? These shapes, because they don't look like they're just mountains. It's because they're pyramids, right? And when you start to think about it that way, when we're looking at like this, these shapes feel very deliberate, right? Like almost as if we've seen these as if we've seen this landscape before. It's because we have. It's Scala. Here's a better picture. So in Scala we can see these pyramid shapes all over, surrounded by this body of water, right? And they're all nice and tight next to each other. And it's very, very similar to all of our mountains. Especially, I think it's most prominent in these early Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers. So that was the the big reason why I came to this conclusion. But although I know I say that Mysterious Towers from Scala, is from Daybreak Town, even though I just showed Scala, something we know about Scala, right, is that it's an inverse or some sort. It is Daybreak Town. So the two evidence pieces that we have towards this is in Remind DLC, we have that centerpiece that when you hit it and you match all like the colored orbs, I think there's like red, blue, green, or red, blue, yellow, something like that. It rotates around, it rotates the picture around, and it was Scala on top, and then it flips to Daybreak Town. Also, the underwater battle that we have with Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3 shows Scala or Daybreak Town underneath Scala. So we know that these are inverses of each other. And to me, the color scheme and architecture, like the whimsical architecture, is very familiar to Daybreak's towns. Right? Also pay attention, there is like Daybreak Town has a lot of usage for like the star pattern, which we have a lot of that in Mysterious Tower as well. And I know off the bat, I know you're probably thinking, well, what about the moon, right? Like this is all supposed to be a reference to the Fantasia hat that Yensid wears. But with, again, here's all the star patterns throughout the tower. But the thing with the moon and the stars is we don't just get that pattern with the Fantasia hat, right? It exists elsewhere. We got Roxas's room. And what does Roxas's room have to do with Fantasia or Yensid? Like, yes, you can say the connection there would just be it's because you take the train from Twilight Town all the way to Mysterious Tower when you first arrive there. And I do agree with that because that's what I first saw. But also we have the underwater, what was it called? Or underground waterway, I think it's called, in Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts 1. Right? What about this like mural here? This mural actually never was given it serves no purpose in the game from what I remember. Right? So we have all these, right? We don't have any big direct connections, but I feel like there's enough there to say that there is a connection going on that needs to be paid attention to. And I'm not saying that this is something Nomura planned from the start, because no, I do not believe this is something that he planned from the start, but it is something that I think that he's adding onto, right? Like he's what is it called? Gardening storytelling. That's what like George R.R. Martin with A Song of Ice and Fire. That's how he writes. Meaning basically like the evidence of this with Nomura would be in Kingdom Hearts 1 when with that one machine in Hollow Bastion, right? And it served kind of no purpose all the way up like until years later when Union Cross comes out, and now those pods are probably one of our most important plot devices for our saga going forward. But why is this important, right? So let's say I am correct. Mysterious Tower is a piece of Daybreak Town that survived. Why is this potentially an important fact? It's because how did these two survive, right? They didn't have pods to go back on. If that's a surviving piece of Daybreak Town, they easily could have just been there, right? So let's look at some facts that we know. We know that Luke Shu is successful in his role. The Master of Masters tells us, and proof of it is the existence of the Book of Prophecy. So we know that the box has to make it into the future, as well as No Name and potentially Luke Shu, to be able to bring back the Master of Masters. So when everything's when everything's a rapture during Union, at the end of Union Cross, Luke Shu could realize that, like, hey, I survived this. I don't know how, but maybe he even knew the box technically has to survive this too, to make it into the future, to be able to create the Book of Prophecies. And I think he hid that box in the Mysterious Tower. I think the entire time the box has been in the Mysterious Tower, which would explain why Zigbar had such a hard time trying to find it. Right? Let's go back to the post. The tower itself can be its own its own magical property that's causing it to pop up like somewhere new all the time. Sort of like what's it called, the star shard, right? We even show some star shard design on the train. Even in this scene, when you first go underground in Traverse Town and you talk to what's his name, Leon, and you ask him about the warp gummy and like how to use it, or whatever Sora asked him, and Leon didn't know what to do with it, so he says just go to Sid, right? So there's like a lot of connections to warping around, and it sounds like that's essentially what the tower is doing, right? So it's just a perfect place to hide the box. And it would it's the perfect way to explain why Luke Shu lost it in the first place, right? Because he might not just have control over the tower at all. And the timeline isn't that far-fetched when you think about it, when you think of it in terms of when did Luke Shu not have the box, when did he get the box, right? It was a very short period of time that he could have found the box. And I don't think that he could have gone far. Like, obviously he can pass through like the dark corridor or whatever, but it was such a small frame of time that he could have acquired the box that it makes sense when Yen Sid comes down to help the Guardians of Light. Luke Shu would remember, he would recall what the Mysterious Tower looks like. So he would know instantly, okay, yeah, that's where it was buried. And he'd be able to get it after that. So timeline wise, it kind of all fits if you really think about it. Also too, so I put this picture up here because why is it that Envy's outfit changes, right? Because she's supposed to be like purple and light blue. She's like rocking Ava's color. Do we think that's a mistake, or could there be more? I don't know. Let me know. I just thought that was odd. And all of this is just kind of funny because we know that Pete's one of the other people looking for the box, and the first time we meet Pete is at the Mysterious Tower in Kingdom Hearts 2, so it would be kind of comical that it was under his nose the entire time. Yeah, but that's the theory. Just to recap on it, I think that the Mysterious Tower is a part of what used to be Daybreak Town. We know that it has some sort of warping ability. And if those are true, if both of those are true, then it makes sense that was the exit plan for Luke Shu and Brain in the past, as well as potentially where he hid the box this entire time. That concludes this theory. Do you think I'm onto something, or do you think I'm just like hella reaching? Because I very much think that is a possibility. But if you have disputable evidence against this for or against this theory, let me know, because Put me out of my misery, please, because I'm like way too passionate about this theory. And thank you for sticking to the end. The channel update I wanted to give was I've gained like a little bit of a following ever since posting Kingdom Hearts videos, and that this is my favorite series, and I wanted to do a lot more with Kingdom Hearts, but I didn't plan to do it just yet. At first I'm doing a Final Fantasy 1 playthrough, and I was kind of just going to crank out a bunch of those games cuz I haven't played most Final Fantasy games, but I want to kind of serve both. So I'm going to try and potentially get either 2 or 4 videos out a week. And what I'll do is um, I'll make 2 Kingdom Hearts videos a week. Well, it'll be 1 or 2, like 2 videos a week for Kingdom Hearts, and then 2 videos a week for like something like Final Fantasy or The World Ends with You. There's other stuff that I want to play, and I'll release them at the same time, like when they go to release, just so that way I'm not, if you don't care about that stuff, that I'm not flooding your homepage with content you don't really care about. Just trying to please just trying to please the audience. You feel me? Thanks again for any of you who have followed me, and I invite you to subscribe if you'd like to join me on this new journey I have taken upon myself with YouTube that kind of came out of nowhere. And like the video if you enjoyed it, but most importantly, throw comments in. That's like my favorite thing about YouTube, is just I enjoy being able to communicate with other people who feel as passionate about a series as I do. So thank you so much for watching again, and peace.